Hello! This is what's called a thermoelectric generator. This one is made by Global Thermoelectric. It's one of the nicer ones out there. Some of the misconceptions about what these are, what they do, and how they're used is what I'm going to go over. But I'll give you an explanation of how they work. Basically, the thermoelectric effect is a sandwich of a couple different kinds of semiconductors where you apply a lot of heat onto one side of the element and you wick away the heat on the other side with a really large heat sink. In this case, a big aluminum finned heat sink in the back of it. The electricity is generated by the flow and the movement of the heat through the semiconductor. So the more heat you put on it and the faster you can pull it away is how it generates more and more electricity. These units are propane powered. You may have seen some recent news about the rovers that they sent to Mars this last month. All of those rovers on Mars actually use a thermoelectric generator, but their heat source is not propane. Their heat source is, I believe it's plutonium, so it's nuclear fission or degradation of the fuel that generates the heat. So this unit generates 108 watts, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's very, very reliable, and these are usually used to top off battery banks in the event that you've got an off-grid situation like a mountaintop for a telecommunications facility. In fact, I have internet right here where we're sitting through a wireless connection on the top of one of these mountains right behind me. That's probably 15 miles away, and it's on top of a hill over there. So in those cases, and if you've got a really remote area and you can't get there very easily, and sometimes the generator won't start or you don't have the ability to maintain it all the time, this is the kind of unit that you can leave and it supplements the solar and or generator when there may not work. So the way this unit fires itself up is it's got a battery inside of it, a small battery, and when you apply propane pressure inside, it's got a pressure switch similar to a well pump that senses the low and high pressure to turn on a pump. This one actually opens up an igniter that fires off the propane, and it heats up a chamber inside of it that the propane just swirls around inside and heats up that front plate of that semiconductor. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a few things about how this thing works. I'll go ahead and open it and bring the camera over. So inside here you can see this is the burn chamber in the back. This is the valve and regulator for the propane input, and this is the pressure unit that switches on the electronics to ignite this igniter right here. So this then generates power directly. You can see the wires that come out here and then go into the controller, which is on the outside, and this converts that power into DC and regulates it up, and this one is spec'd out and measures it out at 14.1 volts and 108 watts. So behind this are a bunch of other capacitors and basically a regulator to convert and power the DC output. Inside of the top there's a chimney right here that assists in the flow of the heat, and you can see inside there's a there's the heat sink down there. Those are all big aluminum fins. And so that's how this works. So I'll go ahead and just show you how it fires up here. All you got to do is hook up a source of propane, like this tank right here. And I'll just go ahead and turn it on. And it fires up immediately. You can hear the propane firing that up. You can see the pressure right there. And it takes a few minutes to warm up, and then the voltages rise on the meters, and then when you've got enough power, you just go ahead and turn the propane off, and as soon as I turn that off, the propane level, the pressure drops, and it shuts off the propane and then shuts off the unit. Just like that. So if there are any other questions about this, please go ahead and fire them off in the comment section below, and I'll see if I can answer them for you. Thank you for watching.